presentation of the day. We're going to hear more about environmental sustainability, but in terms of for environmental ethics.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, and thank you for holding here at this time of a Saturday. I'm going to talk about a study on pro-environmental dispositions among secondary school students. This is a work that we did with Diego Carrasco. And, well, let's start saying that we follow a more humble approach in looking at this pro-environmental dispositions. We basically analyze how opportunities to learn relate to student willingness to make efforts for the environment in the future. And the analysis contemplates several variables such as teacher preparation and a set of control variables. We use data from ICCS 2016, and we feed a series of ordinal logic models to investigate how learning opportunities relate to efforts, future efforts for the environment. Our research questions were related to three main issues: opportunities to learn, open classroom discussion, and teacher preparation, as I mentioned. And these are the research questions. I'm not going to repeat the same thing, but we focus on three variables. In terms of methods, well, we were very humble because we basically use one item regarding make personal efforts to help the environment in the future, and this is the response variable. And we fit these ordinal logic models, which I'm not going to explain because we have graphs. So first of all, how the willingness to care for the environment or to make effort for the environment is described in the sample. Well, we have students, the black dots, who consider important to care for the environment, and the blue dots are the students who consider that this is not important. And as we can see, in general, there is a separation between the students, and we have Colombia with almost 50% of the students thinking that it is very important to care for the environment, or more than 50%, and 30% of the students thinking that it is not very important. In Italy, here we have nearly 50%, a little bit lower than 50% of the students considering very important to care for the environment, while 12%, around 12%, consider that it is not important. And our main results show, in terms of opportunities to learn, they show that when choosing two students randomly from two schools, the difference in odds to act for the environment is in the future maybe nearly 2 in half of the countries without accounting for the difference. So the odds are nearly 2 without accounting for the difference between countries or fixed effects. After accounting for fixed effects, this estimate was 1.46. And the standardized mean differences suggested that odds ratio of 1.6 are similar to a Cohen's d of 0.2. And 75% of the students in this pool sample presented a high willingness to act pro-environmentally in schools where they had learned how to protect the environment. So, if you are taught how to protect the environment, you are more likely to be willing to protect the environment. In the case of open classroom discussion, it is positively related to willingness to protect the environment, and in schools with one standard deviation above the mean on open classroom discussion, the willingness increases between 7% and 35% in the pooled sample. And here we have the results for all the countries, and here specifically for Italy. The model expects that 38% of the students present a high willingness to care for the environment in the future when exposed to average level of open classroom discussion. And the model expects that more than half of the students present a high willingness to protect the environment when they are exposed to higher levels of open classroom discussion, up to one standard deviation from the average. And teacher preparation. Well, we find that teacher readiness and preparation to teach about environmental sustainability accounted for 0.4% of the students' willingness to act pro-environmentally. And you can see that it doesn't make a lot of difference in terms of considering very or not very important. But we also found, well, we have a difference here with Diego, paradoxical effects. I don't think they are paradoxical. But on the one hand, when teachers' self-efficacy regarding their preparation to teach for protecting the environment is high, students have lower willingness to protect the environment. So the self-efficacy of teachers is negatively related to willingness to protect the environment among students. However, when all the teachers in the school receive training regarding to teach about environmental sustainability, there is a higher willingness of the students to protect the environment. So self-efficacy doesn't work. Continuous education for teachers do work. However, this estimate becomes non-significant when you control for fixed effects among countries. This suggests that there might be a high variability on the characteristics of teacher preparation between countries or among countries. And finally, well, very clear, being exposed to teaching on how to protect the environment, experiencing open classroom discussion, and are robust predictors of the students' willingness to protect the environment in the future. The research also suggests that schools and teacher practices are important ways in leveraging the engagement of students for the environment. The potential of such variables may be shaped by conditions of countries and schools. And this finding poses the question on how do education for sustainable development might blend perspectives on teaching about the environment and teaching for the environment. And in terms of future research, we would like to look at the relationship between countries, the differences in protecting the environment, and notions on the value that society assigns to environmental protection. And finally, how local people share meanings regarding the relationship between humans and the environment may shape also these meanings. Thank you very much for your attention, and we are out.